Hello, my name is Joyce Lu. People also call me Joyce. I'm an 11th grader and I play the cello.
Hello, and welcome to Point of View, where we give students a place to listen, learn, and lean in. I'm your host, Grace Yang, and today we'll be talking to Joyce Lu about her experience with playing the cello. So, how did you start playing cello?
So I started cello when I was 10 years old, but before that I started piano when I was 4. Then my best friend's mom teaches cello and she also plays cello, so I was inspired by her, so then I started cello too.
So, piano at 4 years old, was that like something you wanted to do or like?
Yeah, I want to do that. Yes,
Oh.
but I quit now because cello is like taking much of my time.
Why, out of all instruments, were you drawn to the cello over anything else?
Because I really feel like cello, the sound of a cello feels like human voice, and also you can sit down when you play cello, and also, to be honest, it's much easier than piano. So, and also I love the sound of the cello.
So, in like an orchestra,
Yes.
there's like a lot of different instruments, and what kind of role does the cello play in that?
So basically, in an orchestra, the violins, they play both of the melodies, and viola and cello, they both play accompaniment, and they're also bass.
Is there like a certain reason why you would rather play accompaniment than like the violin or anything?
Oh, so I didn't know that before I played cello, but I mean, basically for the string instruments, for like the cello and violin, they're the two instruments that I usually see people play solo with, not usual with the bass or the viola, but also you can, but it's not as usual. But we all have different parts in an orchestra, and we're all very important. It's not just the violins important. We're all important. You can't miss any of them. So we make a team.
So, what is your practice schedule like?
So I begin with warming up, and then obviously I will start with scales. They're very important, fundamentals, and then I'll go to some chromatic sequences that my teacher told me to play, which occurs in a lot of the music, in like concertos. So they're also very important and helpful. And then I'll go to etudes. I play piatti etudes. They're they also they're also required for competitions and going to college. And then I will go on to the pieces I play. Recently I'm playing Pezzo Capriccioso and Alcarcello Concerto, and also some of the sonatas, Arpeggioni by Schubert, and that's basically my practice schedule. And after that, I'll just play whatever makes me happy.
So then how often do you practice, and usually how long do you practice?
I need to practice every day. If I don't practice for a day, I'll feel my fingers getting weird and not feeling good. I technically I need to practice like 8 hours, right? But obviously I cannot because
8
I have
hours a
school.
day?
Yes, professionals do that.
Oh.
Yeah, like minimum 8 hours, I guess. But like obviously I can't because I don't have much time. So I'll try to practice as long as I can for maybe like 4 or 5.
Dang.
Yeah.
Do you play in any competitions, and is that stressful?
Yes, I love competitions, and they're not stressful for me. And they're so fun.
Really?
Yes, actually for me, because we have to keep in mind that musical competition, they're really subjective. They're just like purely what judges think about you. which is obviously not fair. So like I always keep in mind how like the result of a competition is only a reflection of how you play, not like a definition of how like your how you play. So I enjoy preparing for competition, and I enjoy playing on stage for competition.
That's a really healthy mindset, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think because when I played piano, at least for a little bit, I played like Federation, and it was so stressful for me. And I bet for like everyone else in the waiting room looks so stressed, but I think going in just like probably like knowing your own skill and knowing that a judge may be biased
Yes.
is like
So biased.
I think that's like a much more healthy way to approach it, so you don't stress out as much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said you're like trying to practice as much as a professional. Are you trying to pursue that like even after high school?
Yes, I'm pretty sure about that because I actually love playing the cello and I love practicing. I feel happy when I practice, which is weird, I know. Yeah.
How do you plan on pursuing music in college?
My plan is going to Europe, but obviously that's not set for now. But I wish I could go to Europe to pursue classical music because that's where I'll start it, right? And then also the teachers, the professors in Europe, they're very detailed on your playing, and students studying there, they play very exquisitely. I feel like the education system in Europe is better than US.
Okay, so I heard that you actually went to Europe to play cello. How was that experience?
It was so great. So last October, I went to Germany to play in master classes. So I applied to the masterclass series because one of my favorite professor is teaching there. So I applied, but I didn't really get into his masterclass. I got into another professor's masterclass, but it's okay. It's the same thing, and it was really great. It was in a small town in Rütesheim, which is about an hour drive from Frankfurt, and it's really great how they all speak English, so I don't need to learn German.
That is considerate. You talked about how like European professors are like more detailed. Did
Yes.
you really feel that there?
Yes. So they really just like teach you by sentence, by phrase, and unlike some of the U.S. professors I experienced, it's just a different teaching method. But also, professors in Europe, look at you as a whole too, but they also focus on fine details. I feel like professors in the US focus more on your personal taste, but like professors in Europe focus more on how traditional you play for like Bach and such stuff. So I think it's just different teaching method. Depends on how you want to pursue your music.
Mm-hmm. And were you like one of the youngest people there?
No.
No,
They're like 11 years old.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 11 years old
Was
Asians.
the class specifically for like teens?
No, it's for like, it doesn't really have an age range. You have 11, youngest 11 years old, oldest you have maybe like 28 something. I don't know.
Was the class like only for cello, or was it for like an orchestra or something?
Only for cello.
Only for cello. So
And
like-
everyone plays cello, so we're like immersed in a cello atmosphere. So working with people that also love cello is really great, despite their age. So I met a lot of friends that are like older and younger than me.
When you said you wanted to pursue classical music like as a career and in college, how difficult or easy was it to make that decision?
For me personally, it was pretty easy because I know that I enjoy playing cello, so it wasn't that big of a struggle for me to choose to pursue a music. And also my parents, they support me on this decision, so that makes things easier. Right?
Are there any times where you like feel like you don't want to practice or like?
Oh yeah, every day. I mean, like, yes, when I like when you like start practicing is kind of hard because you have to get into like the mindset of practicing. But once you get in there, it's gonna be easy for me.
So like, what do you do in those times where you like feel like tired, you don't want to practice, or?
I would watch like really young, talented players play. So like motivates me.
Okay, I guess that works.
Yes, it works
Yeah.
pretty well. Every time it works.
And what advice do you have for people who are looking to pursue music more seriously like you are?
I would say the most important thing is to actually enjoy playing the cello or your instrument, because if you don't enjoy it, it's gonna be really painful because once you get into college, you also need to practice 8 hours a day, right? If you don't like it, it's just so bad. But it's also true for anything else, right? Like if you want to pursue in like medical school or whatever, I don't know, like, but you don't like it, it's like
Yeah, just
really
like what you do.
yes.
Is there anything else you want to touch on?
I want to touch on how, like, although I said professionals practice 8 hours a day, you don't really need to stress about that. If like even like you don't really need to stress about like how long you practice. How much improvements you make and how focused you are also very important when you practice. So it's not just about the time, it's also about like how focused you are. So if you want to make improvements on your instrument, just like keep in mind that you have to really focus, and yeah, you will definitely improve.
This concludes this episode of Point of View. Thank you so much for listening. For a transcript of this episode, head to the Point of View tab on our website, nhsmessenger.org, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at NHS Point of View for updates and new episodes. I'm your host, Grace Yang, and this has been Point of View.